All right, to our next story. You know, Kwara State has faced pockets of security challenges in recent times, particularly in some parts of the state, south and north. This is raising concerns among residents and political stakeholders about restoration of peace. However, recent developments surrounding the arrest of vigilantes outside the state have sparked political controversy and renewed debate over the handling of security matters. TVC News' Ibrahim Alege has this story. Let's go there.
Kwara State has in recent months grappled with isolated security incidents, especially in parts of Ifelodun and Ekiti local government areas, as well as some communities in Kwara North. Banditry attacks and cases of kidnapping reported in Babanla and Okeode in Ifelodun local government area, as well as Eruku in Ekiti local government area, left many residents worried about safety across the state. During visits to the affected communities, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak reassured residents of his administration's commitment to securing lives and property, while promising the rescue of abducted victims.
Take heart, you're not alone. God is with you, God is with all of us, and things will be better. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Like I said earlier, what you see is a full deployment of the Nigerian Army, which is ongoing. With the present intervention, about 900 troops were sent to Kwara. Additional troops were sent to Kwara.
In addition to state-level interventions, the governor equally sought support from the federal government through the Office of the National Security Advisor, leading to the deployment of military personnel alongside local vigilantes to the troubled areas. Weeks after the successful rescue of some victims, controversy emerged when a group of vigilantes reportedly left Kwara State with an official patrol vehicle belonging to the Ifelodun Local Government Council. The vigilantes were later arrested in Edo State.
So the weapon you go give now. Some of them are them now. You go Abuja go collect the weapon. Yes. Now for Abuja you go collect the rifle. Abi na for Ilorin. How you take no say na from Abuja?
Me, I know because we there with them.
Reacting to the video, the People's Democratic Party in Kwara State raised concerns over the development, calling for what it described as drastic measures to address security challenges in the state. The party alleged that the state government was complicit in arming criminal elements and asked the president to declare a state of emergency in the state.
In the interest of justice, morality, and public safety, it is reasonable to demand the declaration of a state of emergency in Kwara State, including the suspension of the suspension of the governor, to enable an independent, transparent, and interference-free investigation into these allegations.
In another viral video, some vigilantes acknowledged that those arrested in Edo State were part of the civilian JTF deployed to Kwara State.
Akwai ƴan uwanmu ƴan ainihin vigilante civilian JTF wanda aka kama ainihin Edo, ana zargin su a matsayin bandit ana yadawa a social media, wanda tsakani da Allah ba mu ji daɗi ba. Ayi adalci, ayi binciken kakab za a gano waɗannan mutanen ba ainihin bandit bane, ainihin wato ƴan uwanmu ne waɗanda aka kama akan amna musu wannan zargin, ana ɓata musu suna, wannan ba mu ji daɗi ba.
In the same vein, the Office of the National Security Advisor has equally clarified the situation, admitting that the arms were officially issued to vigilante groups as part of efforts to support conventional security forces in combating terrorism, banditry, and other crimes. In a statement responding to reports on the Kwara incident, the Office of the National Security Advisor confirmed that the rifle recovered was part of weapons issued under the National Counter-Terrorism Strategy known as NACTEST. According to the statement, Nigeria's security approach includes the deployment of hybrid forces, combining regular security agencies with trained local auxiliaries such as hunters and vigilantes, to operate effectively in difficult terrains, including forest areas. The clarification may have countered claims that the Kwara State government was directly sponsoring criminal activities. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Ilorin.
Many thanks, Ibrahim. Dr. What's happening in Kwara is a metaphor for what's going on around my country, your country.
Well, the major issue here, before politics crept into it, is what are those vigilantes from Kwara State doing in Edo State with the official vehicle of the local government and with arms given to them to protect certain areas, which doesn't extend into Edo State, but limited to Kwara State? Because that's a big question for me. You can't come and say because some people misbehaved. That's the major thing I had in this. The governor should be suspended. The state of emergency should be declared. I mean, what are those two things?
That to you is barefaced politics?
It's politics. What everybody in Kwara State should be concerned about,
safety,
is the security of the people,
especially
those who are on the northern flank. That some guys decide to misbehave, because if we don't get to the root of it, this will repeat itself again. What did they go to do in Edo State? What was the mission? If you don't answer that question, it is of very grave implication for our security.
It raises more questions.
Yes, because we should get to that.
Yeah.
Every information available has shown that legally they were supposed to be in possession
of the arms.
Yes, of that weapon with them. But why did they cross into Edo State?
What were they looking for? Okay.
That's the question we should be asking, and that's what the police should tell us.
BK, we are living in interesting times.
Yeah, but people just like to play politics with everything. We are asking for Governor Odrazak to be suspended.
And because the state of emergency be declared.
Yes, because of the fake news that Kwara State was getting involved in banditry. The story, that is the danger in simply listening to one story and making an issue out of it. Those of us who know the harm that social media does, we do not simply read something on social media and believe. We wait for the mainstream media, we wait for the people concerned to at least give us clarity on issues. This matter, the NSA's office has admitted that it issued weapons to hybrid security operatives, because they are using hunters. If we go to Kogi now, a lot of the protection of Kogi State is being done by hunters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you can easily mistake a hunter for a bandit.
That's it.
Because he's not wearing the uniform of the police, he's not wearing the uniform of the army, neither is he wearing that of the Navy. The rescue of students of Confluence University of Science and Technology without the state government paying a dime as ransom was largely due to the activities of hunters. Because the governor has employed a lot of hunters. They are armed and they have the vehicles to move around with. Now, some wayward people among vigilantes, and we are not going to say we won't use vigilantes again because of some people chose to go outside of the area they were told to protect. And they drove in the vehicles assigned to them. Bandits don't go around in government vehicles. They have their own vehicles. How they get their vehicles is not our business. So this was a case of mistaken identity. These guys were not bandits. It's as simple as that. Everyone that needs to know has commented on this matter. The office of the NSA has said, look, in working with states, we allow for hybrid security operatives, civilian JTF, agro rangers. They use them in Borno State. And people have recognized some of these boys that were being tortured as vigilantes from the state. Dotun raised an issue. What did they go to do in Edo State with the official vehicle that was given to them? What were they looking for? That is a matter for another day. But going ahead and saying, oh, it is the state government is involved in official banditry and all that. Come on, pure nonsense. You can't say that. There's no way a governor who is troubled that there is threat to peace in his state will be involved in banditry. To what end?
Well, you have not resolved the one in your...
So is it for money or for what?
After all, they say when you are in a hole, stop digging.
So a governor can be involved in banditry. I see some of the nonsense that they are saying about Matawale.
Yes.
I just look, people keep asking me, one of the guys that was jailed by Matawale himself is the one going around doing interviews that the governor did this. I know that governors like Masari, governors like Matawale, when they gave amnesty, they wanted to do everything possible to make these people give up banditry. So if a governor says, okay, I give you a Hilux, this is my gift to you, give up this fight, it does not mean that governor is supporting banditry.
He doesn't.
The governor merely did all of that to make them feel comfortable that, look, we should not do this again. Masari, the governor, went as far as risking his life. He was standing beside Buhari Ndaji, the biggest bandit of that era. 2 times, Katsina State came up with amnesty. 2 times, these guys went back to banditry. All of the money they were given to make them feel comfortable, they promised them they would build schools for them in their forests. You know, they promised they would give them piped water and all that. So the fact that people try to be polite or good to people in a season of peacemaking does not mean that governor or that individual is a promoter of banditry.
Complicit,
This is what the Nigerian system simply, at least 2-3 states that got involved in amnesty for bandits. I've done stories about it. I know what's involved. They made demands, and some of those demands were met, just to encourage them to give up banditry.
That's it.
But if demands were met, they met their demands, then they now went back to the things that they promised that they will never do again. You are now going back without knowing how government came to doing this for them, how a governor came to doing certain things for them. You are now going back to say, oh, that governor was involved in banditry. For 1 whole year, immediately after Watanabe lady became governor, attacks stopped. And the same man that they are accusing of promoting banditry is one governor who was even deposing traditional rulers because of their involvement in banditry. All of these stories are on the net. So to now say that the governor of Kwara State, they should declare a state of emergency, this and that, just because of an incident that you don't have the full story. That this is the way of some Nigerians. Those boys, they shouldn't have left their duty posts. Once you step out of your duty post, it's not, even Nigerian troops, if you stray into, as Nigerian soldiers, wear all the uniform of Nigeria, if you like, have your rocket-propelled grenade. If you stray into Chadian territory, you will be arrested.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. So I
what
do not
happens.
blame those who pick them up
Yeah.
and try to extract information from them. The good thing is that the information they extracted from them led us to know where they were coming from and led us to get the clarification, not just from the Kwara State government, but from the Office of the National Security Advisor.
Yeah.
And that settles it.
Okay. So the debate is intense. Let it continue. But as I said, here at the Hangout, we only give context and clarity to stories thrown up by my country, your country. Okay then.